You're watching Shoot Ride Live, and I have a question for you. Have you ever wanted to be Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon? I did, a long time ago. So what I did was I went and bought a Beretta 92. This is, in particular, a 92A1. I've had it for a long time, and I'm definitely not Mel Gibson. But what I didn't have is a threaded barrel. I was recently able to acquire one, which means now I can suppress it. But the question is, do I need a booster?
Zombie apocalypse.
There's a few things to go over before we get into this. If you're not familiar with suppressing a pistol, most pistols have a tilting barrel. So when you ride the slide back, you'll notice that the barrel slightly tips up. To suppress it, typically you need a booster Nielsen device. This, if you can see, has a spring in it, so it moves forward and backwards. In a nutshell, what that does is it allows the pistol to cycle with a heavy suppressor on the end. I don't know enough about the science to explain the whole thing to you, so I'm not even going to try. I do have my booster here just in case, but what I want to show you is, with the Beretta 92, you'll notice when you move the slide back, the barrel does not tip up. It does go forward and backwards, but it does not tip up. And I've wanted to suppress this for a long time, and I've seen forum after forum with people basically arguing back and forth, yes, you do need a booster, no, you don't need a booster to suppress the 92. Since I was able to get a threaded barrel, and I have my Silencerco Hybrid 46, I'm going to test it out today, and I'm going to answer that question for you. It currently has the 1/2 by 28 thread adapter on the end, so we'll just screw that puppy right on there and see if it works. I'm going to try it with 115 grain standard ball ammunition, and I'm also going to try it with some 147 grain Subsonic ammunition and see if everything runs okay and works. First thing we're going to do is just run a magazine through it. It's a function check just to show you guys that everything is running fine without the suppressor on it. Going to decock it, take that first double action shot. Did you guys see that flinch on like the second or third shot? I didn't reset the trigger all the way. I haven't shot this in a long time. God, and I miss it. They shoot so freaking nice. All right, we're out. Ran flawlessly, of course. It was made in Italy, this particular model was, which I think is just makes it even more sexy. But let's go ahead and throw the suppressor on there, and we will run a mag with 115 grain Supersonics first.
Hey, you told me to come relieve you.
Why, no, that's not a gun in my jacket. I'm just happy to see you. Just kidding. I would have put the suppressor on camera because it looks all spy James Bond cool when you're doing it, assassination kind of thing. But YouTube, they won't allow it. Thanks, YouTube. How goofy does that? That looks so, oh my gosh. That's crazy. I absolutely love it. I know it looks especially bulky with the heat wrap on it, but typically I have this on an AR, either my 9mm or the 223 or even one of the AKs. So it gets hot pretty quick. I'm not really going to be able to aim very well with this because I can't really see over it, but we'll do our best. So let's try it out. That's nice. I even hit the target. Oh, we didn't cycle. And I think I flinched the shit out of that. All right, let's take a look. It did not cycle the round. So maybe this does not work. Try it again. I'm pretty sure that didn't cycle either, but we'll try. Nope, it didn't. Did not cycle around. Okay, well, that may have answered our question. Before we throw the booster in, I did want to try something. I am not telling anybody to do this. Don't do this. Okay, I'm doing this with my own equipment. Don't try this at home. But what I was noticing is that right here, you can see this little gap between the guide rod and the back of the silencer. When you screw it all the way on, which I probably can't show you on YouTube. Anyways, there's a tiny little gap there that I think the suppressor was hitting the guide rod. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen it maybe like a quarter of the way out and try that and see if it cycles to give it a bigger gap so that the back of the suppressor is not hitting the guide rod. So let's see if that works. Nope, that did not work. It still didn't cycle it. All right, so we'll go ahead and throw the booster in there and see if that does anything, because it is not cycling without it. All right, I have the booster in there, which actually does set the suppressor further forward, so there is a much bigger gap there. She works. Now, I have seen another video where somebody supposedly got this to work. He did get it to work, and this gap was an issue, but I'm also wondering if it could be the weight of the suppressor as a whole. One thing I was going to do, which I forgot, was bring one of my ASR mounts that I have on one of my ARs and put that on here and use the ASR mount instead, which would have looked absolutely ridiculous with the ASR flash hider on there. That might be something I do in the future. I didn't bring it with me. Should have. Didn't. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. So let's go ahead and grab some 147 grain Subsonics and see if they'll cycle. I'm loaded up with 10 Blazer 147 grain Subsonics. Let's see if we can get this puppy to cycle with these. Well, that's not a good start. Well, that was a failure to feed. It tried to cycle. Let's see. And we're clear. So we had one failure to feed. Not sure what the deal was with that one. That might have been the ammo just not getting up the feed ramp. But other than that, it worked. I just want to hear the sound difference. Now I have 115 grain Supersonic, and then the next shot will be one of the 147 grain subs. Let's just hear the difference. Oh, that's a big difference. As fun as this is, obviously, you're going to want to use a smaller, probably 9mm specific can. I mean, you just are. It's bulky and heavy, but man, it is so much fun. I can tell you I'm getting absolutely plastered though with gases and probably some unburnt powder. That's all right. It's all about the fun. Whew. I don't think that worked. It's not that cool. That did though. All right, let's take a couple without Air Pro on. Hopefully we'll be good to go. We'll see. Oh yeah, that's not bad at all. Let me try and hit the steel. I mean, it's not quiet. You're not going to shoot that in somebody's house and get away with it. It's definitely not that quiet. But the ring of the steel was much louder. Let's try and get the sound from the target's perspective. So that first shot I intentionally did off the target just to show the difference. I don't know how I got this group because I can't, when I pointed this thing, all I can see basically is like the top of the head over here. That's basically it. All I see is the suppressor. So that's kind of funny. No idea how. That's it for this one today, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. Basically, all I proved was that with a heavy can, you definitely do need a Nielsen device. I'm assuming that probably if you have a lighter 9mm can, it will probably cycle fine. It looked like it tried really hard, but it just didn't work out. So, thank you for stopping by. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.